Just shut up and play, will you please? America's tired of Draymond Green. And I deal with them constantly. The fans, they're not, San Francisco fans, different story. Oh, they're tired of, listen, be quiet and play.
Not sure what gives him the right to speak for America, what he's done in his life for her. You know, I mean, he sits in on Stephen A's show and screams. So I'm not sure who he's become in sports or in media to say how America feels and what gives him that right. And so I'm not really one to pull the race card very often, but that definitely had a very racist connotation. A very racist undertone.
Draymond Green clapping back at Chris Russo last year after Russo pulled the unoriginal shut up and dribble trope that black athletes have been hearing for decades now.
The fans you're talking about, they talk about athletes that way, like you just talked about an athlete.
I think there's a lot. The
people on Fox News talk about athletes that way.
Well,
that's my issue.
Fox News
that's my issue. I don't actually care about the fans that watched Bob Cousy play or watched Wilt play. I don't care. I appreciate that they've been NBA fans that long, but I don't appreciate the undertone.
Bring on first take newcomer J.J. Redick, who's earning his keep and could care less who's sitting at the table with him. He's going to say what he has to say, and he immediately pushes back against Russo's idiotic take. And then he goes more in depth on the Pat McAfee show, pretty much explaining this ain't the circus, and athletes no longer have to exist under the big top.
But the undertones of that and the connotation of that we are meant strictly for your entertainment purposes, that we are to use our bodies strictly for your entertainment, and we are not allowed to be human and show emotion and talk. Like, I don't like that at all. And so I just, I could have went a little harder. I think I gently pushed back at Mad Dog.
Now with the NBA Finals over and the Denver Nuggets winning their first title in franchise history, Russo is at it again with yet another brain-dead NBA take that nobody asked him for.
Can I put a little cold water on this? Little life.
Let's get icy.
Little life in a party. You guys are half asleep, especially him out there. The 86 Celtics would beat this team in 4 games. And then, let's be honest. I mean, it's a nice ball club. They got a Hall of Famer. Jokic is wonderful. Murray's a very good player. They would get mauled. They would get swept. Parrish and Walton and McHale and Bird and Webb. Oh, my, forget it. But having said that, let's be honest. It's a nice ball club.
Redick's body language, his eyes, it's a dead giveaway. You can almost read his mind. He knows, just like the rest of us, that this is just what Russo does. It's the same shtick. He says whatever's going to get him the most attention as he appeals to the good old days. Make the NBA great again. It really is his dog whistle to a portion of the fan base who doesn't like all that the modern-day athlete represents. Ironically, dropping him in the middle of his co-hosts like this, Molotov cocktail style, is also representative of an overload of formulaic, meaningless, hot takes in sports programming because, well, the financial incentives involved.
Let's put it properly. In the process of ranking where this team is, this is a nice NBA championship team. This is not a great NBA historically championship team. Well, if anybody wants to compare them to the 82 Celtics or the 82 Sixers or the 86 Celtics, are crazy.
The Nuggets, the dynamic duo, it's a great story, but it's the same tired playbook from this guy, delivered in the same caricature-like way, and it's just not that interesting, probably because recycling isn't interesting. Russo is out of place, and not because he's older than his co-host and not because he didn't play the game, because he hasn't evolved from that insecure guy who, as late as 2014, still wildly successful, felt the need to protect his turf by putting down untapped black talent.
A black host out there that's qualified to work there right now. Well, if that person is qualified, I haven't seen a resume or I haven't heard a tape. But the idea, folks, that there are a million talk shows, white, black, or pink, who cares? That women, you name it. How many guys do you think there are out there who you can just plop in a chair without calls, an empty screen, and talk for 4 hours and be entertaining, number one, do an interview that's quality, number two, and get the phone lines going, number three.
Pick a day. Might be black athletes, women athletes, former athletes. He doesn't really want to hear what they have to say, which, by the way, is often so far advanced than the one-note commentary he peddles. He can't hold a candle to the insight Jamel Hill drops. Redick is refreshing. He's prepared, doesn't solely rely on his former life as a pro athlete. He shares a point of view fearlessly instead of just shouting a punchline. That's good for sports. It's good for sports media, the landscape. Shannon Sharpe is good. Candace Parker, good. Shaq, Kenny, Charles, of course, good. Times have changed for good. And that's what guys like Russo really can't get used to. They've taken over, and he has to sit next to them. I could be reading too much into it, but I swear this guy wakes up in the middle of the night in a menopausal sweat with the same gut-wrenching question running through his head. If this keeps up, where will I fit in?